Hey gang, I am super happy to bring you guys a brand new feature we're going to be doing on the regular that is called What's in the Box? That's right. We're going to be taking a look at games that we get from publishers that are still in the shrink wrap, and we're going to basically show you what are you going to get when you open them up, right? We'll look inside, show you everything that comes with it. Sometimes we'll actually even get surprise packages where we won't know what's going to be inside until we open them. So I'm happy that our very first one gets to be with a game that I'm not terribly familiar with. This is from Cool Mini or Not. This is Rivet Wars, the Eastern Front. It is supposed to be sort of like a PC RTS style game, but of course with miniatures and with a board and analog style. And on top of that, we also are going to delve into Rivet Wars Heavy Metal expansion and the Battle of Brighton. So without further ado, I say we cut these guys right open, you know? So I brought trusty scissors. Now some people like to use their teeth and stuff, but I have fake teeth, and so if I bite anything, they're gonna fall right off. So Rivet Wars comes to us from Cool Mini or Not. They were cool enough when they saw our site, just because they're familiar with my work on IGN. They decided to send us a bunch of their games so that we could check them out. You know, and we take review copies of games. You can find our information in the notes on YouTube. If you want to send us something, you know, we can't guarantee that we're going to review it or even use it on air, but we won't use it if we don't have it, right? So anything people send us, we may use. We don't get paid for it. It just helps us because games is expensive, and you know, we do this as a hobby, right? So Rivet Wars, first thing we see, boom, instruction book. I don't know about you, but I both love and fear instruction manuals. I like to think, man, I can't wait to learn this game. And sometimes I just thumb through a instruction booklet and then I go, it's too much, it's too much. What's interesting about this one though is, all right, you know, they always do the standard, here's a preview of some of the things that are gonna be in this box. But what I like about this already is that, and you probably can't see this too well, but they actually have some sort of literature on here's the fiction of the world. I always think that's cool that games that are thematic have something up front that basically tells you a little bit about the theme. Now, one of the things I like about this is right away, it's got pictures and big text and lots of color in it. And that's going to help me because honestly, I get some instruction manuals, right? You open them up and it's just walls of tiny text and they're really hard to read. And it just becomes a little bit too much. Like instruction manuals, to be fair, they can be a little bit intimidating. So we got these little plastic chits, kind of hard to know what those are going to be for. Then right away, we've got a plastic insert that has some cards, right? So these are pretty cool. So let's pop these open. So these are some text-heavy cards I can see. First one on the bat is Tunnel Rat, start of deployment phase. There's quite a number. Some are more colorful. These are obviously unit cards to help track the units that you're going to be putting out there. We have some dice. They're brown. They're not custom dice. I always love custom dice, but hey, they're brown. I don't think I have any brown dice, so that's cool. And then this is really typical of Cool Mini or Not. Now, oftentimes it's not a white box, it's a brown cardboard box, but they just tend to wrap their minis very much in a jigsaw puzzle in 2 or 3 boxes without inserts. So sometimes the boxes themselves will have inserts, but once you start undoing everything, popping out all the shits and stuff, honestly, you have a hard time possibly fitting everything back in the box the way they should. And holy crap, these minis are pretty huge. So I will definitely take some pictures of these to insert into this video, but you see this little guy, and they actually have these cool little tops on them, which I'll try to get out. So throw this crap on the ground. So yeah, you can see this has got some nice detail, and always nice when you actually get a mini with some color, because you know, a lot of people like to paint their minis, but if you don't, you know, it is nice to just any kind of color, right, is going to make it pop and look a little bit better than just kind of your standard baseless mini. So these are the first 2 we get, right? Spider tank, sort of what you get in any War of the Future are spider tanks. I'm not sure why spider tanks are any better than just a tank with struts, whatever they're called. But that's how it is. Very steampunky, obviously. So if you don't know anything about Rivet Wars, you immediately get the sense, okay, this has got a steampunky element to it. And then this is sort of like the bigger box, usually for smaller, like a lot of smaller faction minis. And sure enough, We open this up, we get 2 layers of minis, and these are all troops, right? And so you can kind of see that they're really cool. These are, look at this guy. It's like, I mean, these things make no practical sense, but that's okay. It's a guy riding a bicycle wheel thing with little steam vents coming out, and he's got a sword because why wouldn't you? It's like he's, I guess, your modernized cavalry. You got some more tanks and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. And then on the second side, you know, we got a little bit of cardboard separator, but it looks like it's not just minis, but it's also some chits in here. So these are the ground troops. So you got little guys, and obviously you have the gray and the green factions, so that's what's going to separate them. You got a few more of these chits. I'm not sure why one came separately. Just didn't fit, I guess. I'm assuming coins of some kind, wheel thingy. Really cool. Yeah, one of the great things about Cool Mini or Not is they do have a lot to live up to, right? I mean, their name is Cool Mini or Not, and so they have to make awesome minis. You never want people to be able to check off the or not on your label if that's your calling card. We got 2-sided faction card. Looks like the 2 sides are some sort of America and some sort of representation that kind of is Nazi-ish in its emblems. And each of these has a different one on each side for them, so not sure quite how that will work in the game. And then your typical punch boards, right? Little chits. So this is a game of basically a modular map, right, with modular tiles. And then inside we got this really big, these are some of the big tiles here. I like these. So, and I don't know who necessarily started the trend, but certainly it's going to become more and more popular since the tabletop show did Betrayal, and that was a modular board. I think that introduced a lot of people to the idea of a modular game board where every time you play, it can be something different. And you know, almost every Cool Mini game that I can think of has modular tiles, right? They're 2-sided tiles, and then you'll have oftentimes some sort of campaign book that'll be, you know, set up these tiles this way so you can just make a variety of different maps. These are nice big tiles. They have to use giant squares, and these squares, you can't really see it, but they're actually cut into 4 squares. So each giant square has 4 pieces to them. So I imagine it's 1 giant unit or 4 individual units can all fit onto a square. I would say first impression though is that unfortunately the color palette is we're in the desert and that's all we got. And you'd love to have, right, one side of the board be one type of environment and one be the other, and then even being able to mix and match and have a jungle scene go into sort of a swamp scene or whatever it is. But this seems to be all pretty much desert, which is not as exciting as you'd hope. These are just spacers, so that's everything that you get inside of the core box, right? Let's go right to Battle of Brighton now. You can see right off the bat, we're going into the air. That is already pretty thrilling stuff. So, okay, so one of the things I love about games is, I don't know about you, but I love playing games, but there is a certain aspect of opening games that feels a little bit like Christmas, right? And I think it just comes from even just the plastic wrap. Taking it off, I always feel very excited about it. And you know, it's just like getting new toys, right? You just feel like a kid again. All right, so this little update, Battle of Brighton, has some extra instructions because obviously now we've delved into air combat. The core set does not have any air combat on it. And these are pretty cool. So you can see them, they have these really nice planes. They actually have they have spots for like the tops that go on them. You can see that you can actually put a guy on there. Looks like you can also mount a missile on top of that. You've got guys with little gyrocopters as well. And of course you have, once again, the green and the gray, the classic battle combination. And then in here, I won't quite open them up, but we do have some more character cards and then some more of those secret mission cards, those text-heavy cards. And then we get into the good stuff, right? So this is like a little kind of fighter blimp with multiple propellers on it. It's pretty cool. The green, you get a biplane. It's actually a 2-seater for 2 guys. Let's see if we can get this guy out here. Yeah. So we can actually pop a gunner on there, which is pretty cool. Actually looks pretty good. So, yep. And we got Now we've got like a spider turret. I don't know why things have to have legs in the steampunk world, but apparently in the steampunk world, everything has legs. And we have another, this one has actually got treads on it, a tank. So that's kind of cool. It's more my style, more practical kind of tank. And then if you couldn't see, we also have these so that you're going to be playing on, you're going to be playing with ground troops as well, I think. But this will help, right? You can just slot the ships into these, and so you can actually have elevation, which is pretty cool. And for my final trick, heavy metal. So right on the box, this is going to be big tanks. So we got the air troops, we got the core set, of course, and now tanks for the memories, guys. All right. I don't know about you, but sometimes you don't know too much about a game and you just get to open it up and it's like, oof. Okay, so this is definitely a much smaller expansion than the Warren Brighton one because it's only got 2 tanks. But man, look at these things. Gigantic cannon, 2-seater. So just plop a guy in there and then look at this. Has an extra option for an extra cannon. We have got the green one. It's basically the same thing except that it looks a little bit different and is situated differently. But you once again have your little guy that can sit on there. You have your little cannon extra. Pretty cool. And then this one doesn't appear to come with any of the secret mission stuff. It's just the unit cards, but still looks pretty cool. So I gotta say, Rivet Wars, I didn't know what to expect from it. I honestly don't know very much about it except what it is, that it is a strategic minis battle game for 2 players. And that the idea is to make it feel like a little bit like a real-time strategy game. But man, these minis are just so detailed. Like they've got little rivets all over these tanks. This is super awesome. I wish I had any talent at painting. And then I love the characters because these characters have, this guy's got a little mustache. So I assume that the green, he could be a Frenchman, which means that the green is going to surrender and lose. So that's a really quick look at what you're going to get inside the box of Rivet Wars core set, Battle on Brighton, and Heavy Metal. So if you've played Rivet Wars, I'd love to hear in the comments what you think of it, whether we should actually do a Let's Play of this and learn to play it and set it up and actually have you guys watch us play it or not. So shout out in the comments below. We'd love to know what you think about this feature. Is it boring? Is it cool? Do you want more? Do you wish we went into more detail? Less detail? Give us some clues. We will make these videos for you. If you like them, be sure to give us a thumbs up. And as always, if you could, just click that subscribe button right above me and we'll keep making great videos for you. See you next time for another What's in the Box? What's in the Box?